In our discussion today, how to go about building a world-class franchise business.
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to another live session of Franchising with Fasa. Our guest today is Carl Shultz of World Class Coach. Over the past 25 years, Carl Shultz has started more than 20 different businesses and owned 3 franchises. Carl is currently the CEO of World Class Summits and World Class Coach, where he coaches and facilitates leaderships and business development programs in Zambia, Malawi, Botswana, and South Africa. At World Class Summits, Carl is the host of a number of annual online summits focusing on specific industry, where he works with industry experts to reach and present industry-focused solutions to promote business growth. And to remind you, say hello and welcome if you know anybody who's interested in a franchise business opportunity, or maybe they want to get into business or start a business. Perhaps they want to get into coaching. Share and like this with anyone you feel who may be interested in this, and share and like it in any event. So we'll be back shortly after this to chat with Carl. Hello, Carl. How are you?
Hello. Well, thanks, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you. So you're part of World Class Coach, and we're going to be talking about business and franchising and how to develop a world-class franchise business. Just once again, a reminder out there to everybody who's watching this, please say hello and give us a welcome, or say hello, tell us where you are, or hit the share and button so that we can share this with people who are interested in franchising or interested in a coach business. So tell us, Carl, what made you decide to become a consulting coach?
Thank you, Romany. Yes, that my journey goes back a number of years. And like you said in the introduction, I've started and owned many businesses. And what I realized is every time I sold a business, the deal maker in selling the business was that I would walk with the new owner for 6 months. I would coach them for 6 months and like lead them into how to run the business properly and what we were doing, and help them grow. And I found that during those 6 months, the business grew. It like in some cases, we doubled the turnover compared to when I had it. And I realized that my real strength is not really in starting and running a business. My real strength lies in helping owners of businesses develop and grow their business. Because I had all the ideas, but you know, when you have a business and you're working in your business, you don't have time to sit back and build a strategy and work on your business. And so oftentimes when you're working in your business kind of stagnates and it grows, but it's like very slow. But when you have a consultant or a coach that comes alongside you and helps you have that like overall, that bird's eye view, you're able to do amazing things. And so every time I'd sell a business, I'd be coaching the guys and consulting them and consulting to them, and they'd fly. And I thought, well, maybe I should be doing this rather than running my own business. And that's what I started doing. And since then, I've just never looked back. It's been amazing.
That sounds very interesting, actually. I never really thought of that, because it is true. And I know from personal experience and also being in the marketing arena, you know, when a business struggles or people get too busy, marketing falls at the bottom of that list. You know, It's like, we'll get back to it. No, we'll get back to you another time. We're too busy. And so, yes, it makes perfect sense, because our businesses do stagnate. They do, because we get so busy dealing with clients, and then we have to deal with this, and then we have to deal with admin. And so, you know, it's like your business kind of doesn't grow anyway. And then you're trying to make sense of things. And now it's like, well, who, what, when, how. So it makes sense what you're doing. Yeah, I like that. So what are the benefits of using a consulting coach then?
I think if you think about somebody that can come alongside you and can just help you identify some of the things that you're missing, help you focus a little bit. I think focus is a big thing. When you run your own business, like you say, you really are chasing your own tail most of the time. You're managing people. So in smaller businesses, you everything in the business. You're the salesperson, you're the marketer, you're the cleaner, you're customer relations, you are everything in your business. And so a coach can just come alongside you and help you make sense of things, help you, prioritize your time, set goals, and bring a little bit of structure and order, and just help you flow a little bit better. In a bigger business, well, like your medium-sized businesses, you end up being a manager. So you're now a little bit bigger, and you've got people that you employ to do the work for you, but you end up managing them all the time, micromanaging, managing, looking at KPIs, looking at results, setting goals, all that kind of stuff. So you're like so busy doing all of that again, you don't have time to just like step back and be a business owner. In bigger businesses, the executive decisions, the managing your leadership team and all that kind of stuff is where a coach can come in and help you. So a coach is pretty much really your own personal board of directors that comes alongside you, helps you identify some of the things you should be measuring, helps you focus a little bit, help you also look after yourself, take responsibility for some of the things you're not doing, looking after your health, your own personal wellness, those kind of things. Have you got a strong team around you? Are you managing your team properly? Are they being developed? Are you creating this environment for growth? So there's just so many benefits of having a coach. And in South Africa, I think it's a fairly new concept, especially to business, to bring on side a coach. And yeah, it's changing.
It is. And I mean, I never really quite thought of it. I've always heard of people having coaches, and when you look at coaching, and like you say, it's relatively new. I've known it to be quite existent within South Africa, but I think there's almost like a mindset of what a coach actually is. I mean, I'm sitting here listening to what you're saying to me, and I'm thinking to myself, it's almost like having your own sounding board, is it not, within your business. And so people don't often think that there's a benefit to actually having a coach for various reasons. I think people kind of use it more for personal development rather than kind of like a business coach. Like overseas, I think they're more into where you'd have a business coach coaching your business, whereas over here, it's still not really, or it's kind of perceived it's for very successful people almost. If
And I mean, think about it as a business owner, and you being a business owner yourself, it's a fairly lonely road, because you don't really, I mean, you can't speak to employees about stuff. There's certain things you just like don't share with them. You can't speak to your competitors because that'll put a damper on your business growth. So who do you actually talk to? You can't go home and speak to your family because they don't get it. And also, you need to separate your family from your business. So who do you actually talk to? Who do you bounce ideas off? Who do you talk to when you're feeling frustrated and angry, or when you lose it at work because of something that staff members have done, or you lose it with a customer? I mean, I had that a number of times, because I mean that idea of the customer is always right. That's like nonsense. But we lose it sometimes. And who do you talk to? Who do you debrief with? Who do you bounce ideas off? Who do you share experiences with? You are only as big as the world you've been exposed to. And if you're living in isolation, only exposed to your own ideas and your own environment, how do you actually grow? And a coach brings that to you.
Absolutely, I like it. Yeah. So in my online marketing business, I also kind of just listening to you would function as that coach. Yes, I do the marketing side of the business, but more often than not, guys would come to me and ask me, because I as part of my business, I have to look at future trends. I have to look at what's happening currently, and what I have observed is that a lot of businesses do not have time to spend researching, so they wouldn't know that they need to adapt their businesses, or this future technology is coming out. So when something does happen, they're like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Because now technologies have changed, things have improved, and it's almost like their business starts falling behind because they're so busy in their business, they don't actually have time to research customer needs, customer changes, customer technologies that's coming into play, because we always have to evolve and adapt our businesses according to what's happening in the world climate, but also what your customer is needing at that time.
Yeah.
And that's where I see a lot of businesses falling short in those areas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what we don't realize in business, that there's cycles. Everything's a cycle. There's a product life cycle. There's all these cycles that happen. And we get so busy in our business, we don't realize the cycle's busy going down.
Yes.
And we don't adjust. We don't innovate. We don't come up with new ideas. We don't, like you say, doing a bit of research and that kind of stuff. And when you look again, it's too late. And it's difficult to recover when it's too late.
It is. And you can stagnate very, very easily. It's very easy to get into that comfort zone of what is normal, or, we're happy with the way things are. We don't really want to change, because more often than not, change is fearful. It is taking that step into the unknown. And so that's where a person like yourself, or, can come along and say, you know what, it's actually okay. You can do this. It will be good for your business,
That's right.
So tell us, why did you decide to franchise your business?
That's very interesting. When I moved over into the coaching field and we looked at business coaching, we all know the statistics that are out there about how many businesses fail. And it's upwards of 90% of all businesses fail within 5 years. And if you look at that, and I looked at the statistics, and when I owned the Vodacom franchise, I looked at the difference between franchises and normal businesses, or a business that you would start. And I noticed that upwards of 75% of franchises succeed. So 75% plus of franchises succeed, 90% plus of businesses fail. So that kind of just showed me something. And then I looked at the difference between a franchise and a normal business. And the difference really is systems. So it's tried and tested systems. And when I looked at my coaching business and the stuff we started putting in place, and like you said in the beginning, we do online summits and we focus on specific industries. So we've done online summits and conferences for the coaching industry, for the speaking industry, for consultants. And when I look at those guys, and I see that a lot of these guys are brilliant consultants, they're brilliant coaches, brilliant speakers. They're really good at what they're doing. Even we did a dental summit and we did the veterinary summit. The guys are good at what they're doing, but they don't have systems and processes in place. So when I looked at my business and I looked at the coaches that we're working with, they also don't have systems and processes in place. And the cost for them to go and develop the systems and processes, put them in place in their business, is astronomical. In fact, it outweighs the cost of just buying a franchise. And so I started setting up these systems and processes in my own business and sharing them with other coaches and other consultants. And then I realized that they would do a lot better just buying a franchise. So I was approached by a couple of guys saying, you know what, can't we just buy your whole operation and then we work together on that? And that's where the journey started of franchising the whole operation. And we started franchising. We launched this, and we've done it totally different to what anyone else is doing it out there. Nowhere in the world are they doing the franchise coaching model the way we are, where we're tapping into different strengths. And our coaches in the different sectors don't actually compete with one another like the different franchises. We actually complement one another. So our coaches have different strengths. We work together. We form this synergy kind of system where synergy is the strength of the whole is much greater than the strength of the individual. And so that's just worked for us. And the franchise model has just been amazing. And together we work on systems and improving what we're doing and putting these systems and routines and processes in place. They make life a lot easier. So we can be coaches And we don't have to worry about the back end. The stuff happens because of what we put in place, and we can focus on our strengths and what we're doing well. And that's what I'd advise people to do in their business as well. Focus on your strengths and automate as much of the other stuff as you can. And you be the best you that you can be. Your talents, your strengths, your purpose that only you can do. Operate in that and do that, and let the systems take care of themselves.
Yeah, a lot of people like to, especially when they start out businesses, and I know I'm guilty too myself, is we like to do things all by ourselves, thinking that we're saving money. And it's not really saving money, because you've got to look at the amount of time that you're allocating to spending doing what it is you're doing. And, you know, I read a beautiful post the other day on Facebook where they said, you know, it took me years and years and years to do what I'm doing for you in 30 minutes. You know? And that is very true, because, you know, I see some people, it will take me literally a few minutes to do where it will take them a long time to do. So, you know, try and automate as much. I know finance and budget can be tricky and it can be tight, but try and see how much you can outsource to other people, because it does make a difference. It relieves that stress in your business. But I'm sure, as Carl would share with me and agree with me, it also allows you to be able to be a little bit more creative and draw within your strengths of your business. Would you say that is true?
Absolutely. There's a thing called OPT and OPS. So OPT stands for other people's time, and OPS other people's skills. And we utilize that in our business, because I would much rather buy somebody else's time at a premium than use my own time to do that specific task, especially if it's something that's not my strength. And other people's skills. I mean, for me to go and learn something, it's going to take forever. I can't afford to pay myself to learn those things that I'm not supposed to be doing. I'd rather pay for someone else's skills. It makes absolute sense.
I agree. And you know what, when we're looking at the laws of attraction and the laws of abundance, by actually paying someone else, you are giving back into the universe. You are giving back into that law of attraction. So you're keeping the flow going, which is always good. I just want to say good morning to everybody. Wakila's saying good morning. Eva's saying good morning. Tabalojo and Ronnie, good morning to all of you out there. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, do let us know. Coaching is such a vital aspect. You don't have to just use it in business coaching, but you can also have personal coaching. Often in life, especially when we're looking for business opportunities or we're looking for career opportunities, we often don't always know what it is we want to do and which direction we want to go in. And sometimes, more often than not, when you collaborate and sharing and exploring with another person, you would go, oh, that's an option. I didn't know that was an option. So that is where Carl's team can help people get direction in terms of, especially when you're working with a coach. So I've got one more question for you. What is the one thing that we can do now that will give sort of give you the greatest return or growth for success in business people, for business people? So what can someone do today that they can implement?
You know, when I started this journey of business coaching, I took a different stance. I said, instead of looking at what people are doing wrong and why 90% are failing, I said, let's rather look at the 10% who are succeeding and what are they doing right? What are the other 10% of businesses doing that the 90% are not doing that make them succeed? And there's a number of things. There's about 10 or 12 of them, and I'll share them with you later. But the number one thing that businesses that succeed are doing right is that they have a strategy. They have a strategy in place to grow. So that sounds quite broad and complicated, and how long is a piece of string? But it's actually not. A strategy is really where you just sit down with a number of people, and it could be yourself and your team, 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 people. It could be a group of peers. It could be a synergy room, like we run synergy sessions, where you're just brainstorming around coming up with ideas to grow your business. So putting some kind of a strategy in place. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You spoke about the law of attraction and all these different laws, but there's also the law of common sense. And the law of common sense just says that most of you know exactly what to do in your business to grow your business. You know, I guarantee you that if I sat with you for about 10 minutes and we chatted and we bounced some ideas off each other, I guarantee you that you'd come up with the most amazing ideas to grow your business. And there's something that happens when you sit around a table with different people, so 2 or 3 people or 2 or more people. So there's my wisdom and there's your wisdom. But when we throw ideas at each other, there's a combined wisdom that far outweighs my wisdom on itself and your wisdom by itself. There's a combined wisdom that comes into play there, where we come up with ideas that are like, I would never have thought of that. You would never have thought of that. But together we came up with a strategy. So for me, if there's one thing that you should be doing in your business right now, it's putting a strategy down on paper, a strategy to grow your business. And it doesn't have to be a complicated, it could be 3 steps. It could be, what are the 3 things that I'm going to do in the next 6 months to grow my business? And I promise you, if you ask those questions, you'll come up with stuff that you can do now that won't cost you money. It won't cost you major expenses and time to implement. Simple, basic, common sense stuff that will turn your business around. We sometimes try and complicate things. We sometimes try and think that the answer is out there with some guru on some cloud. After a year of meditation, you'll find it. It's not like that. The answer is way closer than that. It's in your heart and it's on your lips. That's where the answer is. So that's the one thing that I would advise you to do is have a strategy. Have a strategy for growth. Because if you don't have a strategy for growth, I mean, how can you expect to grow?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I agree. I love action plans and strategies. I do one every year. In actual fact, when I'm feeling a little bit confused or when I'm feeling like stuck, like you say, you often know what it is you need to be doing. And then once you actually sit with it and put it down on paper, it starts coming out and starts unraveling. So I agree with you. I love that. I often see people not having action plans or strategy plans, even in your own personal life. You should have an action plan and a strategy for where you want to be this year or in 6 months, because it just kind of helps you connect all the dots and put things in place. So yeah, I do agree with you there. Any other tips you want to share with us?
Yeah, I think if I can, why don't you just explore the option of partnering with a coach? Explore the option of just reaching out and finding out a little bit more of what coaching means, what coaching can do for you, and take that leap. Explore the possibilities. Explore this new world of hang on a minute, I can be and do way more than I'm currently doing. We talk about a comfort zone, and it's difficult for people to step out of their comfort zone, but it's not really a comfort zone because let me ask you this question. Is it really comfortable to be battling every month, to not meet your deadlines, to have the bank and people phone you all the time and you can't pay your creditors, or staff issues? Is that comfortable? And it's not comfortable at all. So it's not really a comfort zone. It's more a familiar zone. In other words, it's what we've become accustomed to. It's what we used to. And there's that kind of, to step outside of my familiar zone, something that's not familiar to me, I'm losing a bit of strength. So it's not like really fear. It's just like it's an unknown. And when we can shed the light on the unknown and help you see, but hang on, that's actually, it's not scary at all, because we now are familiar with what's going on outside, what other people are doing. Let's bring it home and let's apply it in our own business, in our own life, and grow through that.
I like that. We've been raised with a mindset that we must do everything alone, and we must have this persona, everything is perfect, we can't show our emotions and we mustn't share that things are going wrong. I think we need to change that dynamic going forward. I think the world is ready for that dynamic. Yeah. Absolutely.
Lockdown taught us that lesson. Being isolated was hell for a lot of people. I mean, for a year we had to like stay at home and you couldn't get out there and just be around people. I mean, I remember when we first were allowed out, how I used to just get in my car and ride to the mall just to walk around people, because, you know, like we were never meant to be alone. We were meant to be part of communities. And so as a business owner, you're not meant to be alone. You're meant to be part of a bigger picture and a bigger world.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And me, I know for lockdown, for me, I mean, I love being at home and I love being on my own, and I'm not really, and it even affected me. So I can't even begin to imagine what it was like for the extroverts out there who love to be social and out there. Whereas for me, I was like, okay, I can do this. Very easy for me to do. I'm already doing this. But then after a while, you're going, it's almost like a mindset thing. It was like I'm forced to stay at home. I don't have that freedom to go out there. So yes. Well, Carl, thank you so much for sharing what you shared with us today. It was being most helpful. And I just want to remind everybody, if you want to get hold of Carl, or if you want to find out more about coaching, how you can get involved in coaching, or maybe you just want to coach in your life, then we're going to be popping the link in the comment box below so that you can message Carl directly, ask him any questions or things you'd like to know, whether it's about the franchise business as a coach, or maybe you need a coach for yourself. And then once again, I just want to, remind you that FASA is an organization that is there to protect, lobby, promote, and develop ethical franchising across all sectors in South Africa, with a specific focus on transformation. If you'd like to know more about FASA and what they do with regards to membership, or the products that they sell, or maybe the events that they're happening, or perhaps you just have a question on franchising and need some direction, you can visit FASA at www.co.za. So thank you everyone for joining us this week. Thank you for watching. Have a super week forward, whatever it is you're doing.